All right, so today we're going to be talking about styling of web components. So previous video in this series was about how to create a basic web component, how to get text or content into that component, and some basic functionality with the JavaScript. Today we're going to be focused on styling. Now, styling in itself really is pretty much the same as what you would do on a web page, but there's still a number of things to learn. There's a number of things that you should keep in mind while you're doing the styling. And with web components, you have to think ahead about how is this component going to be used? Which websites is it going to be used on or as part of? So what I've designed here, I've started off with pretty much what I had in the previous example. So there's a big bang web component, and I've got one slot element here, the H2, which is going to be injected. In the browser, what we have is this. Here is our web component that we built. So there's the H1, which is right in the code for the component, and then this was brought in by the slot. My styling, very limited for the page right now. Just some basic defaults. The H2, I'm setting the color to cornflower blue, and the H3, I'm putting a border on the bottom. The H3 is part of my page. It's right here. I have an H2 that's right here, but it's worth noting that this H2 is also getting that color, and the component is getting the same font as we used up here. And that's because when you've got a web component, it will inherit some styles. It's a very limited amount of styles, but anything to do with color, font size, font family, font weight, things to do with the text itself, those actually will cascade down. So my setting of the H2 color here actually carries on, because this is an H2 element inside the component. The styling actually gets down into here. And inside my web component, this is what we're rendering here. It's a div with an H1 and then this slot. This slot is being replaced with an H2. It's getting the styling. And all of the content that we're building here, all that content is inheriting the font styles from the page. Okay, so how do we style things that are just for the component itself? What we do is we go into our template. This is, after all, just HTML. So we're taking our string here that has the component that we're going to be building. This is the HTML that makes up our component. But the styles that we put right here are going to be specifically for this. These styles are going to be encapsulated inside that shadow root that we created last time. So your web components should all have this shadow root, which is basically a little protective box around your content. So I can put styles in here that will pertain only to this element right here, or these elements. They will not transfer to anything else on the page. So my web component is not going to break anything on anybody's web page if they use my component. And that's key to what we're trying to do here. So in my styles, if I wanted to put a style having to do with divs, I could do that. I could say, hey, you know what? Divs, I want divs to have a border 1 pixel solid red. Just something very simple that we can see on our page. So I do that, and there we are. There is the red border on the div, which is inside the web component. All right, now, not a great thing to have in our styling, but we can see that this does work. We are able to style tags. So same way you would with a normal style sheet, you can put styles here. They will apply only to this HTML. Or HTML that you build through your script inside the component here. In this class, Big Bang, whatever I build here, the styles that I have here will apply to it. Now, we can also import. So if you want to import some CSS, that is another possibility. You can have a common style sheet. Let's say you're building a whole framework made up of a series, or you're building a design system and you've got this series of web components that are going to be part of this. Maybe there is a common style sheet, and that common style sheet is what you're going to be importing into every single one of your components, so they have a common look and feel. So we can do that. All right, I will comment this out. We'll just leave this here just as a note to say that yes, we can do that here. Sorry for all those little bings and buzzes on my phone. All right, so we've got imports, we've got basic styles, that all works. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the things that are more specific to web components themselves. Host. This is a pseudo-class that applies specifically to the shadow root itself. So this is for the shadow root. And what is the shadow root? Well, that's the element that is containing this right here, this big bang. Directly inside that, or this big bang element, is being replaced by the shadow root. You can think of it like an empty box, kind of like a div that contains our component. So my styling on host, let's put a background color here so we can see it on the page. Let's say lavender. Now you might think there's a problem here. My style is not appearing, but it actually is. Our component that we've added here, this is a default element. We're building a brand new element that is now part of HTML, that's part of our web page. The default style for any HTML element is to display inline. So it actually, at the very beginning, this shadow root has no dimensions to it. It's got no height, no width. So if I want this thing to appear, I have to come in here and say, display block. Now I actually have something I can see on the screen. So if I want to do padding, if I want to do margin, if I want to do borders, if I want to do background colors, I have to make a display block so I'm going to see it. Or maybe it's going to be inline block. You want to do something that's kind of like an image. Whatever the case is, you need to specify something, or it's really, you're not going to see much of the content that you're going to be putting there. The text will render, but it's kind of like it's sticking out from this zero height, zero width space on your page. So after this, if we want to add padding, margin, other things like that for the layout, beyond that, if we're building a div or something like this, this is a better place to put things like that. So if I want to put padding, we could do that. If I want to put margin, we can do that here. This is the better place to put those things. So we're creating some space above and below, and then the padding all around here. Okay, so host, that's your shadow root itself. So that's one of the special pseudo classes you get with the shadow root, with a web component. Now we also have a method called host. So what's the difference here? Well, if you remember back when I was talking about the import URL and we were talking about having a common style sheet that we're going to apply in a bunch of places, you can specify here, I want to use this style for the host, but only if the host is, in our case, Big Bang. So let's say I've got a whole bunch of different web components, each one of them with their own tag. I can put that here to say, this is what my shadow root is. If the shadow root is one of these things, then my background color is going to be, let's say cornflower blue. I'll lose my text, but that's okay because I'm going to be replacing that in a moment. So this is going to be the color now if my shadow root is a Big Bang element. And there we are. So I can't see my text right here, but that's okay. I'm going to lose this color in a sec. So here is my element. Because it is a Big Bang one, now this is the style that's applying, or whatever other properties I want. Another similar one is called host context. And for this one, what we're saying is the shadow root element, if it is contained within, if one of his ancestors is, and we'll take a look in our page here. So I'm inside of a main element, so I'll use that. We'll say, if my web component is inside of a main element, then this is the style that I want to apply. I'm going to say background color is going to be gold. There we are. So I've got the gold background, the blue, which was coming from the H2 styling on the parent page, so that came down in. The fonts are coming from the cascading down from the parent page. And then we had three different ways: host method, and the host context method. Those three things let us check the background color. These two methods have the same level of specificity. So you can put them in any order that you want. Whichever one comes second, that's the one that's going to win out. So if I swapped the order for these two, we'll see that the cornflower blue is going to win out. And there it is. So I'm going to undo that. So we've got our gold. That's the one that's showing. Now we can read our text. Okay. Now we want to use another style that's specific to web components. It's a pseudo-element method called slotted. With this one, what we're doing is we want to style elements that have been inserted into the component. So here's a slot. So whatever is going to replace this slot, this is the style that's going to apply to it. So I can say, all right, anything that's slotted. So anything filling any slot anywhere inside my web component. Going to apply this to it. Or H2. I'm going to apply this to H2 elements that have been slotted into here. So in our case, it's this H2 slot with that bit of text. So this H2 is being inserted into our components. It's replacing this slot. So our style here is going to apply. So let's say font size for REM. Let's make it really big text so it stands out. Sure enough, there we have it. But remember that font styles can cascade down. So we had set this blue color here on the main page. My problem here is that this web component is being built before the styles are applied to the page. So anything I do is slotted. This is actually taking place before the main styles are applied to it, before they cascade down from the page into here. This is happening when the component is originally being built. So in terms of timeline, this happens first, and then the main styles cascade down. So if there is anything like color that you definitely want to apply, so here, color, black, you think, fine. Hey, where's my black text? It's because it's being applied afterwards. It's overwriting that. So if you want to use slotted and you want to absolutely style things that have been put in here that are an H2 or whatever the tag is, then if it's a font style, something that's applying to the text directly, you may have to do this. You might have to put the important just to get that styling to show up like this. All right, so that's slotted. Now I cannot do this. I can't say, hey, I want to style my slots, because those slots are being replaced with the thing that's coming in here, the H2 and so on. So this, no work. So you can't do that. You have to use slotted. Okay, so we're down to the last one now, which is the part. There's another one called part, like this. And it does not work here. It is sort of the reverse of what we're doing with slot. If in my web component, I do want to expose something so that the person who's building main.js has access to it, I can use part. So my H1 element, let's say I'm willing to give control of the style. Maybe the color of this H1 is really, really important to whoever's building the web pages. And I know that it's likely going to be that way. I have some default styles. I know there's cascades happening, but I want them to be able to overwrite things. I want them to be able to target this thing specifically. So I will say part, and I'm going to give it a name. I'll say topper. So we have here a part attribute called topper, and now I can go back into the main.css as the person who's using the web component, not the person who's building the web component, but the developer who is actually going to style this. I can come in here and say, hey, part, I want to style anything that is topper. So I take the value inside of there. I can say topper, I want to be able to style this, so I'm going to put the name of it in there, and then I can start to style this. So I can say I want to use the color chartreuse. Let's make it something that really stands out. And I'm going to say font size for this thing is going to be 6 rem. It's going to be massive text. And there we are. Really hard to look at the chartreuse on that gold background, but it's really big. It stands out. We know that we've done it here. And that's what the part part pseudo element is for, so that you can expose pieces of your interface, pieces of your web component. I can have a whole bunch of content in here that is hard-coded, and it is styled inside of here the way that I want. But by doing this, I'm giving them an opportunity to overwrite it. So the default, we'll say, is going to be orange, red. That's my default color for the H1 that's inside my component, but using part, they can override that. Back here, let's just comment this out just so we can see it happening. There it is. There's the orange, red that's set inside there, but with part, I can overwrite it. Now, it is worth noting that I can only target that one element. So if there's things that were nested inside of here, I'm not going to be impacting them unless it's through normal CSS Cascade. I can't say, hey, you know what? Inside of the thing that's got the attribute part that says topper, inside of here, I want to be able to target spans. That does not work. If you want to do that, you have to give a part attribute to the span as well. You cannot make these compound selectors up that have part as part of it. You have only the ability to target one element, and it's only specifically the things that the person who built the web component wants to expose for public use. And that's it. That is styling of web components. So we've got all these great things that have been added in here to deal with the fact that we've got this shadow root. So we've got part, we've got host, we've got the host context and the host method, we've got slotted, and we have the ability to write normal styles and also import styles if we want. All right, so I hope that helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. I answer as many as I have time for. And as always, thanks for watching.